Okay, in preparation for your next lab, you're going to imagine kind of a strange scenario. What you're going to imagine is that you have a collection of small animals. So we're going to try to draw a little potato-shaped guinea pig here. Here he is, his little nose, his eye. So we got some guinea pigs, and then we've got mice. So a little smaller, little tail there, some whiskers, so you know it's a mouse, little eyeball. So we've got mice, and then we've got, kind of looming over them all, these rabbits. All right, so these are your three options for your pets that we're going to talk about here. Now, the situation is, you've got some number of these creatures in a box, and you've been tasked with an assignment where you need to figure out how much of the total amount of pets in this box is made of rabbits, how much is made of mice, and how much is made of guinea pigs. So we have some number of rabbits, we have some number of guinea pigs in there, and we have some mice in there. So it's just kind of a sampler platter of pets in this box. Now you're probably thinking, well, that's easy. I'll just open the box, I'll look in there, I will see how many rabbits there are, how many mice, how many guinea pigs, write it down on a piece of paper, hand it in, full credit, everything's great. But here's the problem. So, these animals are invisible. So you look in the box, you open up the box, and you don't see anything. Now you think, okay, can't see anything. Well, I'll just reach in there and I'll feel around, and they're all pretty nice creatures, and hopefully I won't get bitten, and I'll just feel like how many rabbit bodies do I feel here, and how many guinea pigs and how many mice. But the additional problem is they are radioactive and explosive. So you can't actually come in contact with these animals. If you do, you will be poisoned to death by radiation, and the animals will explode. So no one will survive the incident. So your situation is you have to figure out what's in this box. You know what kinds of things are in there. You know what your options are. There's some mixture of rabbits, guinea pigs, and mice in that box. But you have to figure out a way to determine how much of each thing is in there. So you're going to picture this box. It's a three-dimensional structure. You're free to touch the box. You are free to modify the box in any way you want to. You just can't come into contact with any of these creatures. So you're going to pause this video at this point. You're going to take a little time. You're going to write down some ideas of how you could go about this. You're able to modify the box. You have a laboratory's worth of equipment around you. So you have a scale, you have other containers, and you have like whole general household items that you can use. So pause the video, come up with some ideas, and then we'll be back. Okay, so hopefully you've now got a brilliant list of ideas for how to solve this problem. So we've got this mystery box full of radioactive, explosive, small pets, and you have to figure out how many or how much of each kind of thing is in there. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. The way I kind of figured out that I might do it is if I can modify the box, then maybe I put like a little mouse-sized hole over here, and I put my scale here. So here we go. I'm going to have my scale telling me how heavy things are, and I'm going to put some cheese over here because, of course, I've watched some cartoons and mice like cheese. And so if that happens, if I put that little hole in the side and I make the hole small enough so that only the mice can get out, and I'm going to lure the mice out with some cheese, then I'll end up with a situation where the mice are going to come out, and again, they're invisible, and I can't touch them. They're explosive, radioactive, and invisible. But I can get them to come out, and if they climb onto the scale, then I'll know the mass of mice. Now, if I can't touch them, and I can't see them, then I still won't know how many mice there are, but at least I'll know how much mice I have. What's the mass of all the mice? And that'll solve my problem of isolating the mice. But I'm still going to have rabbits and guinea pigs in that box, and I'm going to have to figure out a way to get them out. So I think maybe, all right, guinea pigs are these like, stumpy, bumpy little creatures. They look like just a lumpy old potato. They can't really jump. That looks very strange, but that's a guinea pig. And he's not really able to jump. But my rabbit, my athletic rabbit here, he can jump. So maybe what I'll do is, the box is pretty big. If I cut the top off the box so that I know that the rabbits will be able to jump out of it, then I could maybe put some carrots out here. I know rabbits like carrots. Now, guinea pigs like carrots too, so they would want to go for the carrots, but they can't jump out. So I'm going to use the fact that rabbits and guinea pigs have different behaviors and different body forms and exploit that in order to separate them. So if I put a carrot out here, then my rabbits are going to jump out to get the carrot, and the guinea pigs will be stuck in the middle. And if I've set up another scale over here, then when the rabbits land on the scale, I can get the mass of rabbits. And then all that's left in the box is going to be those lumpy potato-shaped guinea pigs. And I can take my box, because I'm allowed to touch the box, and I can place it on a scale and weigh it. Then I'll have to figure out a way to subtract out the mass of the box. So maybe I'd want to just cut a bigger hole in the side and just let the guinea pigs out once the mice have left and weigh the guinea pigs separately. So there's a lot of ways to do this, but that still leaves us with the problem of, now I know what's my mass of rabbits, what's my mass of mice, and what's my mass of guinea pigs, but I still have a problem if my boss at the weirdest pet shop in the world isn't just asking me, how many pounds of rabbits do we have available? Because that would be a weird way to think about rabbits that you're selling as pets. He wants to know, how many rabbits do I have? And how many guinea pigs do we have? And how many mice do we have? So your next task is to try to figure out, what would you need to know if your boss is now breathing down your neck saying, yeah, that's great, congratulations, you modified the box, you didn't blow yourself up. But how many of each of these kinds of pets do we have? So your task, when you come into class before lab, is to have some idea of what you would then need to know and do in order to determine how many of each of these creatures you have. And you should also read ahead in the lab, look at what you're going to be doing in the lab, because we're not actually working with radioactive pets, and think how this idea of how you thought through how would you get these things separated and how would you figure out how many you have, how would that apply to the lab you're going to do in class using Epsom salts and a Bunsen burner.